Hey everyone, it's Jennifer with DP Addiction Adventures. I hope everyone's having a good night. I had done a video a little earlier today and said that I may go live, so here's my attempt to go live. We'll see how it goes. Sorry if I jostle you around a little bit. I'm going to try to set this up and see how this works. I haven't been home in quite a while, so we'll see if this works well. So how is everybody? Hey Michelle, good to see you. You having a good weekend so far? So just to remind everybody, I'm working on Gorgeous Girl. Wait a second, I'm going to move this a little bit so you may go shaky shaky. Let's see how that goes. Whew. I have a small delay between screens, so I want to make sure. All right, let's make this look a little bit prettier for you guys here, so we can hunker down and have some fun, right? Oh, Michelle, it's so good to be back. I'm telling you, I will share a little bit of the trip once we have a few more people watching. But it was great. How are you doing, Miss Michelle? Anything to report while I was gone? I'm trying to catch up on all the videos. Hey, Abra, it's good to see you. Welcome. So I'm going to try to read this chat off my computer, but I don't have my glasses on, so we will see how that goes. What's everybody up to this weekend? As I said in my earlier video, my daughter and husband are at a father-daughter dance, so I thought I would jump in. Today's my first day back on diamond painting. I have been going through withdrawal. Do you guys ever feel that way when you can't diamond paint for a while? I have not diamond painted since February, I think it was 13th. Quite a while ago. So it's been crazy. My neck's been hurting for a different reason than diamond painting. It wasn't as fun. All those plane rides. I love to travel, but 40 hours. Oh, you got your first ever Diamond Art Club. What did you get, Michelle? So exciting. I was really sad to see that they had a buy one get one while I was gone. And I know the link is still live, but there's only a couple paintings left on it. And I was like, oh, I'll just have to wait and see. I figured maybe it was God telling me to finish the first couple I had before I went out and bought more. I'm also waiting to see the new stuff they promised is coming out. I finished This Little Light of Mine a while ago, and I have a couple, I think I have 3 more Diamond Art Clubs that I own that I haven't started yet. I wanted to get a couple of these Gorgeous Girls done first because of they were from Huracan and the popping drills. I wanted to make sure I got that fixed before it was too far into it where I wouldn't be able to get drills from the company. So right before I left, I got huge packages from Huacan, and I still need to open them in inventory, but I'm hopeful. Oh, let me see. Elizabeth, I miss you. Off to see the wizard and worlds away. Oh, I am drooling over that Elizabeth. At first, I was going back and forth. I love that time period, and I watch all the movies and shows about the Queen. And then when Stitcherista showed me hers, it looks so much better in person, like live on a video, than it did just in a picture. So now I'm drooling over it. Hey Nan! Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be back. Oh my gosh, the trip was absolutely amazing, and I'll be sharing some of it later tonight once we get a couple more people watching. But, yeah. Oh, hey Diamond Painting. Hippie chick. Yeah, this gorgeous girl's really turning out great. I am in love with it. There's a couple popping drills, but nothing like the Drill-mageddon. So I've been able to work through it. This is, let me see, this is roughly how many I have, and I'm already at the halfway point of the picture. So I'm really happy about that. Oh, Abra, you got a lot too. So you did the wizard. You're waiting on Elizabeth. Yeah. Working on Mother Owl at the moment. How is the color palette on Mother Owl? It looks a little dark. And as you can see with this one, I'm kind of into the brighter colors. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But I was just wondering how it looks in person. Right now I'm in a confetti land zone, so I'm going back and forth between a lot of different colors. Oops, I don't think I'll need that many. Oh yeah, you're right. Hi, Saphira's mama. Good to see you. You're right, Michelle. You just don't get it until you touch it, right? Until you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. I'm in love. Yeah, yeah. So right before I went live, I was in the middle of watching, I'm catching up on videos, and I was watching Mrs. Coffee and Mr. Coffee's Valentine's Day whip and chat. And so I was like, hey, you know what? I should probably go live before my daughter and husband get home. That way when they do get home, I can hear all about the father-daughter dance. And she's getting so big. She's 11. She's in 5th grade. And oh, she just looks like a princess. She's growing into just a lovely young lady. I couldn't ask for a better daughter. Sorry, I'm catching up. Absolutely dark and browdy. Lots of dark blues and lighter shades. I love her. Oh, yeah. Exactly, Abram. And the nice thing about Diamond Art Club is even if they're darker colors, with the quality of the drills and how they're cut, it's going to be gorgeous. I'm sure you're loving it. Sure you're loving it. So I am still getting over jet lag, and a story is one of my friends Facebook messaged me last night right before I went to bed. And she was like, hey, could you meet my husband at the local, it's kind of like a YMCA, but it's not, local health club, because their children were in a swim class. And they're doing foster care, and one of the children is not supposed to be, because of the case, she's very tentative against like, as you know, changing with a male figure. And so since she was working, my friend, her husband was taking their 2 biological children and the foster child to swimming lessons. And so she was asking if because we're licensed, we're in the middle of the adoption process, and so she asked me, I mean, we've watched each other's children, and she said, hey, could you hop over there and just, they're okay, they can go into the bathroom stall and everything, but as an adult, could you just be in the women's locker room in case she needs anything? And I was like, sure, not a problem. And so I said, but I'm jet lagged out of my mind right now, because it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, so my brain thought it was like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I had been up, and I had just gotten done saying goodnight to Mrs. Coffee's live, and they were still going on with their live. And so she's like, yes, be in the lobby just before 10. Now, in my mind, just before 10 means like 9:50, 9:55. I did not think, because my brain hurt so bad, oh yeah, swim class starts at 10, you need to be there at like 9:45 or 9:40 so that you can help them change so they can get to swim class on time. So I wake my daughter up this morning, and we're getting ready, and we leave the house at 9:45 because it's literally a couple blocks from our home. And we get there, and by the time we get there, I take my phone out of my purse or my pocket, and it's like blowing up. My friend was like messaging me, call my husband, and so I realized when I got to the lobby at 9:55 that I had screwed up, that I should have been there early. And so they managed to figure it out, and then we stayed so I could help them after swim lessons. But I just say that because this jet lag is kicking my butt. A couple years ago when I came back from Thailand, I was fine. 2 days of recovery, and I was a little tired, but that was it. But oh, my memory is driving me crazy. So yeah, that's just how it's going. Hey Jackie, good to see you. Sorry, I was telling my story and not watching who was coming in. Hey, Shania? I don't have my glasses on, so I'm trying to read from across the room. And so good to see everybody. Thank you guys for coming. So hey, I know what Abra's working on, but what is everybody else working on? You know I'm working on the Gorgeous Girl right now. The spring one. What's everyone else working on? And do you love it, or are you just pushing through it waiting to get to your next diamond painting of choice? This one I'm loving. I'm loving the colors. My favorite color is green, so I'm really soaking up the fact that this has like literally 17 green colors. I'm not exaggerating. I counted them. So 17 out of the 45 colors is some shade of green. Excuse me. Oh yeah, thanks Michelle, and you're one of those, hopefully, 1,000 subs. DAC, I miss you. That one's a good one. Michelle, what are you working on? Like, what's the subject matter, what you're working on? I thought it was really interesting last night, one of the lives, some of you were in it, when we all were talking about the company of our current work in progress. And it was interesting to see everybody's. Such a variety, a lot of diamond art clubs, a couple Hurricanes, some Ever Moments. I think Color Whisper was sprinkled in there, or Seven Sisters. So it was really interesting to see everyone's work in progress. Groot from Guardians. Oh, I'm so glad. And the confetti, Marissa, I'm sure is absolutely unreal. Nan, you're still working on your peacocks. Oh, and you're working on your pearl necklace design. That sounds so fun. Are you a jewelry designer? Just forgive me if I yawn. It just happens all the time right now. It's so embarrassing when I'm in the middle of a session with a client and I have to yawn and I'm not even tired. It's just, I don't think I'm breathing deep enough. I don't think I'm getting enough oxygen to my brain. It's crazy. So I was so excited for Wolfpack. Stephanie, she reached 1,000 subscribers too. So our family is just growing and growing. It just really shows that we're all a community, you know, because we are part of all of each other's channels and Facebook groups, and we're just sharing the love, and yet we're able to discuss likes and dislikes and constructive criticism and encourage each other. And I'm so excited to be part of it. Hey, Rachel Ray. Fancy meeting you here. So glad you could make it. I thought maybe I would get lucky enough to see you if I did it early enough in the night. Especially after your late night last night. How's everything going for you? I saw you posted a video, I haven't watched it yet, of your Diamond Art Club. So excited. Well, it is late, but it's not 3 hours from now late. I'll be yawning right along with you because I'm still on this 8-hour ahead of time zone. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Oh, funny story. So my daughter had a soccer game today, and we're sitting in the parking lot, and my husband wasn't able to come. He was doing our taxes with our tax guy, and I'm sitting there. We have like 5 extra minutes before we have to go inside because it's indoor soccer. And I was like, okay, pep talk time. Since I haven't been home for a while and I missed 4 games while I was gone. So I'm going through pep talk and I was like, oh my goodness, this is the time that I can introduce her to Rocky. So I pulled up on YouTube as we're sitting there from Rocky 1, where the song of him, building his muscles and his stamina and running up the Philadelphia stairs, and it was like dun 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 dun. And I'm not going to keep going because I'm going to embarrass myself. And she's like watching it. She's like, oh my gosh, can I watch that movie? I was like, oh, the point wasn't about you wanting to watch the movie. The point was about the whole, like, getting pumped up by the song. But yeah, I'm like, I'm getting so old. Like, all the movies I grew up watching, she wants to watch now. Oh, Abram, order me some Chinese food too. Well, Rachel, make sure you get ready for bed. Get lots of sleep. Cuddle with that dog of yours. You don't want to be sleepwalking tomorrow at work. That's the worst. So yeah, now I have to introduce her to Rocky. She wants to watch it. I've slowly been introducing her because I don't like a lot of the cartoons and things right now. So we've been watching Leave It to Beaver and the Lucy, like I Love Lucy. I introduced her to, like, we always watch the Andy Griffith Show because she wants to be a cop. And so I was like, well, that's a clean show that has to do with law enforcement. Excuse me. So yeah, I just feel like I'm reliving my childhood, one show at a time. It is so hard to pick which color I'm going to do next when it's confetti crazy. And I know it's just like dive in type of thing, but it's for somebody who's indecisive like myself. I guess this is what you would call immersion therapy, which is where you immerse yourself in what you don't appreciate. So it's kind of where I'm going with it. Trying to think of any other stories to tell that's been going on. I got back, if you watched my earlier video, I got back Sunday night. But I'll tell you, okay, so I am from West Michigan, okay? And we have had what we call the polar vortex, which has not left us since it arrived. It started with negative 40-degree weather, turned into snowstorm after snowstorm. The kids are at like day 15 or 16 of a snow day, which means they're going into the summer super late. The governor has not decided yet how late, so we're just waiting to see. So the day I flew out, yeah, Marissa, that's good. I just can't figure out which one has the most trails. Let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. Trying to get it so the lights. Yeah. So that's what I'm dealing with. It's just confetti. So, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'll put you back down. Yeah, Rachel Ray, I don't know because I still need to clean my house and I'm trying to figure this out. And I tried, like when my husband was in the hospital, I tried to get someone to clean our house and it worked for like 3 weeks, and then they kept calling and canceling or forgetting us or different things like that, and I was like, screw this. It is more stressful to rely on someone else to clean my house than it is just for me to clean it. So yeah, the day I left, it was freezing, and I got on the plane, we're sitting there, we're waiting to go, we're a smaller airport, and this guy in front of me, like something was just off about him. And I just was like, this is going to be, now granted, this was only the hour trip because we were flying from my city to Minneapolis, and then we were going Minneapolis to Amsterdam, and then Amsterdam to Rwanda, and then Rwanda to Uganda. Yeah, long time. So I'm like, all right, I can handle an hour of this guy in front of me. But he kept hitting the back of his seat. Like, he would put the hood of his hoodie over the head of the seat and then put his arms back as if, you know, you're putting them behind your head. And he would hit the seat and almost smack me in the face. And he did this probably half a dozen times before we even took off. So during the time that the cabin crew was doing their check, they kept asking him to put his seat up because he kept reclining it. So the third time they came to, hey Karen, good to see you. You haven't missed much. So the third time they came through, the woman, her name was Jocelyn, and very, very nice woman. And she had been joking with a lot of the passengers, and very nice woman. And she was African American and beautiful hair and just sweet spirit, very sweet spirit. And so she asked him a third time. She said, "Sir, you know, are you putting your chair down on purpose?" And she was trying to be funny with him. And he's like, "No, ma'am, I'm not." And she's like, "All right, well, I really need you to keep your chair up until we get in the air." He was like, "All right." So then she comes back a fourth time, okay? And his chair had reclined again. Now, granted, he's in front of me, so this chair keeps coming back into my face because there's no room on the planes. And she's very kind, and she's like, "Sir, is your chair broken? Do we need to move you to a different seat?" And he lost it. Like, he's like, "Why are you picking on me?" And he just started degrading her and started saying racist comments about her ethnicity. And she didn't even bat an eye. She just looked at him with dignity and said, "Sir, you know, I need you to respect the rules of the plane." You know, she didn't dive into what he had said, and he just went off again and started calling her very derogatory names and getting very animated. And at this point, I realized he had had too much to drink, and it was only like noon. And so she looked at him. He tried to grab her credentials around her neck. She's like, "No, sir, I'm pointing to my name badge. My name is Jocelyn." And he just went off again. And she's like, "You know what? I'm going to fix this." And we were taxiing out to where we were about to take off. So she called. We had to taxi back to the gate. Security had to come on. They had to escort him off. They had to get his luggage. And this put us almost 2 hours behind schedule because then we were in the back of the line again. They had to de-ice us again. Well, come to find out, we only had 5 minutes by the time we landed in Minneapolis to get to our flight for Amsterdam. And we had flown in on the side of domestic flights and had to get to the other terminal for international flights. And there was no way, like, even at a full sprint, there was no way to get there. And oh my goodness. So we found this guy with one of those carts, jumped on the cart, and he's like flying through the airport, but everyone's oblivious. And he's like, woo, 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 back and forth, beeping his little horn. The woman in the front was also going to be on our same flight, and she was like freaking out. She was going to miss her flight. And she's like, excuse me, get out of the way." She was so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm with nutty people all day. So anyway, needless to say, we made our flight on the last call. We were able to get there. So yeah, that's kind of the start of the whole trip. So then we were on the Amsterdam flight for 9 hours, or to Amsterdam for 9 hours, and there were a couple people who had gotten really sick, so they were taking up the bathrooms. Um, and I ended up in the middle section, and the gentleman next to me, who was very kind, but he must have taken an Ambien or something because he fell asleep and did not wake up for like 5 hours. And when he fell asleep, like he went full body, um, like flop. So his arms went to the left and to the right, his knees like spread eagle, and the poor woman on his left and I on his right, we were just like squished. And then the carts kept coming by, and they never said excuse me, so I have bruises all up and down my arm from being hit by the cart. And I was just like, ugh, 9 hours of this. It was incredible. I just kept telling myself, oh my goodness, you can make it, you can make it. Oh. Hey, Jennifer Jones, so good to see you. Bye, Rachel. Sleep well. Hope tomorrow goes well with work. So I've done that once, but watched our connection push. Oh, so you didn't make it. Oh, I'm so sorry, Marissa. Were they able to put you on the next flight? See, we weren't sure because then we had another flight once we hit Amsterdam. So we weren't sure, like, if they would be willing to connect us. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. How you doing? Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. So let's see. Let's do another brown. I'm kind of on a brown kick right now. I love how they have done this hair though. They've got like 4 or 5 different browns and grays, and then they outline it in black. It really helps develop the depth needed. I think they did a good job. So yeah, so that's pretty much how it went. We got to Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, we were able to make our flight, and we flew into Rwanda, and then we stayed on the plane while passengers got off, and then had another hour flight to Entebbe. And then once we were in Entebbe, which is Uganda, we then took a taxi to the hotel in Kampala. So that was interesting. Once we got to Kampala, I fell into bed. My roommate had already been there a couple days. And I fell into bed and I slept really solid. And then we were supposed to get up and go to church the next day, a true African church, and I was so excited, but our transportation fell through. So then we went from pharmacy to pharmacy to pick up supplies. Just a second, I have a sneeze. Oh, napping most of the day, Jennifer. And she had you out shopping? Oh my goodness. What did you get? Hey, Cheryl's Crafty World. So good to see you. Yeah, I love these boxes. They're great. So I could have slept longer, but I was super excited. So I stayed up. We went to the pharmacies. We had 3 doctors with us. We had an OBGYN, and we had a bone doctor, and we had a general practitioner. And the general practitioner and the bone doctor were father-son. So that was kind of cool. And they are amazing people. We had so much fun. And so we were trying to figure out, because we did not know what the community we were going to when we did these medical clinics was going to run into. So we were estimating, how much worm medicine do we need? How much antibiotic, amoxicillin do we need? How much Bactrim do we need? How much, we bought things that would help STDs. We bought things that would help, give cortisone shots. All this stuff. I learned so much, and I had done this same trip with these same people to Guatemala in 2017. So I was really comfortable with them and able to help, and they gave me a list of things, and I was able to figure that out. And then we got back to the hotel, and then Monday we had a clinic. Tuesday we had a clinic. We saw so many people. It was like never ending, just over and over and over, people upon people. And then Wednesday, Tuesday night, we then drove to Jinja, and we were going to have a clinic Thursday in Jinja. But Wednesday was a day off, and we got a surprise. And I'm going to catch up on Jennifer Jones a second. We wanted to redo my little one's room for her birthday. Oh, that is so awesome. And water globes. Jennifer Jones, I want you to be my mom. Just kidding. My mom's a subscriber. She's going to kill me. Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun. So Wednesday, we're in Jinja, and we had nothing to do. And we realized we had no electricity in Jinja. And so it was so hot. And I have sunburn. I don't know if you can see it on the video. But I'm peeling left and right. And this arm, I can't really get it into the camera. But it's like every time I touch my arm, I shed. I feel like I'm a molting snake or a molting bird. So, but anyway, they surprised us, and we were able to go whitewater rafting on the Nile. Seriously, how many people in America can say that they've done that? So we did that, and I can swim. I'm not a super good swimmer, but I can swim enough to save my life and enough to have fun. Does that make sense? So we're in the boat, and I've done whitewater rafting before in West Virginia and another state I forget because I was in junior high. And so they were hilarious. They took us through all the safety. We got into the life jackets. We walked down to the Nile. And as I'm walking down, it's like, no kidding, 200 steps. I'm not lying. It's this huge hill on the side, and you have to walk down it. And all I could think of is, I'm going to have to walk back up this hill. I don't know how I'm going to walk back up this hill after 6 hours of rowing on the Nile. Because whitewater rafting, you might get 5, 6, 7 rapids, but between the rapids, you have to row your oar. And so your muscles are so tired, and the sun beats down on you, and it's a great time, but you're just exhausted. And so we get down, we get in the boat, we get pushed off. We go through the first rapid, and then we're rowing, and there's this like bubbling brook. That's the only way I can describe it, kind of rapid. And he's like, if anybody wants to jump out, you can go down this rapid. And it basically was like a little bubbling brook. just really deep. And so most of the boat jumped out, and I thought, there's no way. The whole reason I'm trying to stay in the boat. So I stay in the boat, we row, we get to the bottom of the small little rapid, we pull everybody back in. They're like, oh, it's so refreshing. You know, it's the doctors are saying this, and we're all just kind of laughing and relaxing. And then we're at smooth water, and he said it's probably about 30 minutes before the next rapid. And, oh, hey, Cheryl, good to see you. Leah, welcome. And so we were on the smooth part, and he said, you know, the best way, and this is in his, you know, African accent, he's like, the best way to learn and be prepared in case the boat tips is to practice. And I'm sitting there like, no, we do not need to practice tipping the boat. So he tells us all to sit next to our buddy on one side of the boat and pushes us over, and nobody is realizing what he's doing. And I'm sitting there like, no, he wants everybody on one side of the boat so he can tip this frickin' boat. Like, I'm seeing the writing on the wall, and nobody is listening to me. And then he immediately grabs this carabiner with a rope on the end of it, latches it to the side of the boat nobody's sitting on, and jumps off the boat on the side that everybody else is sitting on and flips the whole boat. And so now we're all in the Nile, and I like want to roll my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did he just freaking flip the boat? I did not sign up for this. And so we're all bobbing in the Nile, and I do not like deep water if I can avoid it. And this is a very deep part of the Nile, and I'm trying to swim to keep up to the boat and trying to stay calm. Oh my goodness. So we ended up all being able to get back in the boat, and everything was fine. But I just wanted to be like, you guys have PhDs. You've been doctors for decades, and you did not realize this is what this guy was about to do. It was crazy. Halfway through the Whitewater rafting trip, he this little guy in a kayak, one of the safety guides, comes up, and on the front of his kayak is this huge tray of quartered pineapple, and our guide was like, it's a pineapple break. And so here we are sitting in the middle of Uganda on the Nile, eating fresh pineapple off the Rhine and just enjoying a beautiful day. It was amazing. I was so blessed, and I was like, all right, you redeemed yourself for flipping the boat over. I guess it was worth it. And so our boat never flipped over. Couple of the other boats that were with us did. Our guide was amazing. They said he had grown up on the water and had been through those rapids for almost 30 years. So we had he could just read the river. And there were a couple times, because the rainy season had just started, and every night there was this huge thunderstorm, which is why we didn't have electricity, because the hotel was scared that it would blow their circuits, so they just didn't have electricity running. That was a whole nother long story. And so some of the rapids were too dangerous, so we'd have to get out of the boat. They'd send the boat down, and then we'd have to walk on these like half cliffs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Our feet hurt so bad because it was like red rock, and the sun had been beaten down on it. It was so hot. It was like walking on hot blacktop. Hey, Christy. Oh, thank you. Hey, Michelle Henley. Good to see you. Oh, I didn't know how many people we'd have tonight because I'm starting a little early because I didn't know how much energy I would have, but I wanted to say hi to everybody and share some of my Ugandan stories, and it's just really good to be back. Right now I'm working on my gorgeous girl, lots and lots of confetti. Trying to figure out what symbols to use. That's where we're at. Oh, Abra, is your Chinese here? Did you get me some? I always tell Fruitini when I'm going to make food so that she can get a head count. I know, it's wishful thinking. I wish I could share. Eventually we'll get there. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I know that they were working back in the, I think it was the late 90s, maybe it was the early 2000s, of like scented paper so that you could fax scents through. I don't think that ever ended up being successful. But yeah, I always joke with my mom, or my mom jokes with me whenever we're sick. We're always like, well, we'll fax you or email you some chicken soup. We live about 5 hours away from each other. And I don't know. I mean, I love my husband. He is amazing, and he takes such good care of me when I'm sick. And I hope I do vice versa for him. But there's just something about having my mom. I grew up with severe migraine headaches. I would get them at least twice a month. And it was to the point that I'd throw up. I would be crying. I couldn't see light. I couldn't hear sound. And I would have ice packs on my head nonstop. And she would come home from work and she would sit on the couch and she would have me lay next to her and my head would be in her lap and she would just gently massage my temples. And I'm just telling you, like, or she would rub my back if I was sick. I had gotten pneumonia a couple times. And just feeling that after you've been coughing for so long. And so I think that just instilled in me this feeling that my mom just always helps me feel better. And so as a parent, I try to do the same for my daughter. I try to just really, when she's not feeling good, just be present. You know, I don't want to be obtrusive because I know sometimes people want to be left alone, but I want to be that for her. That safe space, you know? That space that you just even think, yeah, Christy, I know. It's such a blessing for those who do have it. And I just want to be that safe space for my daughter too. So, yeah. I'm a little emotional today. I had some really bad news given to me a couple hours ago. Like world shaking news. I'm not going to share it on YouTube. It's a little private, but it rocked my world and my heart is broken and I'm just having a really, really rough night. And I think that's why I also wanted to hop on live, because I didn't want to be, quote unquote, use the quotes, right, alone with, you know, my husband and my daughter gone. I just wanted some community time and just being selfish to want to be cheered up a little bit, talk through it. There's nothing like a good self-talk. Hear your own voice. That's the one thing about lives. It's so hard because I can't hear your voices. You know, I think it would be so cool if we could talk to each other, kind of conference phone like, you know? But then I think we'd all talk a lot. We'd be saying, I'm sorry I didn't catch that. Oh, I'm so sorry I talked over you. Oh, what'd you say? Oh, I missed that. Yeah. Those conference calls can get pretty crazy sometimes. similar to like the news lately where everybody is trying to be one-upping each other. You can't get through one interview without people trying to talk over one another. And then nobody gets anything, right? Can't hear anybody. It's like, seriously, grow up. Let's be all mature. Lucky puppy paws. Bark, bark, woof, woof. What's up? What's up? Do you have any dogs? I think my Zoe's upstairs sleeping. I have a feeling she's either laying in our bed, which she's not supposed to be, or snuck up on our couch, which she's not supposed to be. Our whole family room down here where I am, she's allowed on all the furniture. But unless all of us are down here, she doesn't come down here and stay. She wants to see what's going on upstairs. Oh. Lucky, are you another diabetic turtle? I would love to know. I'm a big fan of diabetic turtles. Alright guys, what should we talk about? You've got to help me out with my jet lag mind. What do you want to know? Or what do you want to know about each other, I should say? Or, tell me this. What is the top video I should watch that I missed out on? Because I have probably 100 hours of videos to catch up on. Which one should I dive into? Yes, I said turtle. I'm never going to live that down. So I noticed that I missed the Dreamer Design launch. Is anybody in chat right now an ambassador or have one of the kits? There's one I really wanted, but I didn't have the money for it, so I thought I would wait. And I always end up like just short of being on the ground with everything. You know, like Diamond Art Club, I came along right after people were getting involved with them, and Dreamer Design right after they were picking ambassadors, and it's just kind of interesting. I don't know if it's good because it's protecting me from the growth spurts, you know, because every company is going to go through that first initial, you know, feedback and growth. I mean, we all love Diamond Art Club, but they did go through some growth. I mean, they had to learn and they had to talk to their constituents, and they knew where they wanted to go, but they needed to take certain steps to get there. And we're all like that. So we'll see. Yeah. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what's going on. And hopefully we'll reap the benefits of the growth. Does that make sense? you know, like not have to go through the pains of it, but reap the benefits. So that's my plan. Yeah, I think it's hard to get constructive criticism, especially like if you think you've done in your own mind everything you needed to. But I know things aren't perfect. You know, it's trial and error. Even if you have test markets, there's always going to be something. Oh my goodness, I put that diamond down upside down. That's funny. Let's just flip you over, little guy. Let's make sure you're with all your buddies. There you go. Yeah, I do too, Marissa. I think they have a lot of potential. I think the concept, you know, of having the artist and I just think there's gonna need to be growth. And every company goes through it. It just so happens that they're going through it when they have a large community present where maybe Diamond Art Club had a smaller, you know, before this became as hot of a craft. You know, now there's YouTube channels and there's a lot of social media and different things like that. So it's very real time, whether or not you've messed up. And so I think it's just one of those things. So we will just sit and wait and we will see what happens. I always tell my daughter, it's not the mistakes that you make, it's how you respond to those mistakes. Yeah, Marissa. You flipped in over on his turtle shell. Yeah, so I just think, you know, it's how you respond. How you respond to criticism, how you respond to change, not the change or the criticism itself. And that's something I'm learning as well, and I'm trying to teach my daughter. Because I take things way too personally. So if somebody is asking me to change or calls me on the carpet, it's not that I'm upset that they called me out. It's that I never want to hurt anybody. And so then I take it very personally, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I offended you. Abram, there are a lot of videos to watch and catch up on. Oh, bring beverages. Okay, thank you for the warning. I always make sure I have something to drink. It's exactly what that drink is, that's debatable, right? So, yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on growing and developing, is just being willing. And back to what I was saying. I take it too personally because I don't want to offend you. You know, it's not that I'm upset about me. It's like, oh my gosh, I hurt somebody else, or I never meant to do it that way. So I have to watch myself. Oh, I think it might be time for some more wax in my pen. We shall see. Sometimes I think it depends on the drills themselves, if they have a higher, like, little mountain to pick up. as to whether or not your wax is going to work long term. We will see. We will see. Yeah, I won't be able to binge watch a lot. I'm hoping tomorrow I can watch some. I have to clean my house. But I can have it playing. But then I have a full week next week. So it's going to be interesting. Try to get everything in. I am so overwhelmed at work, guys. It is not even funny. I look at my calendar and I want to have a panic attack. I have to do my deep breathing exercises. Oh my gosh. I just look and I'm like, I'm currently learning how to write what's called a mental health affidavit, which can be anywhere from a 2 to a 12-page paper on why somebody, I believe, my professional opinion, somebody should stay in the United States and not return to their country due to their torture story. So I have to listen and be there, which I have to anyway because I'm the therapist, to the story. Help them talk through the story so they could present it in court, but then I have to do a write-up on the story itself, so I'm reliving it again, which, I mean, they lived through it, so don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I'm picturing it with them, typing it up, and then giving my professional opinion based on, you know, is it an adjustment disorder, is it post-traumatic stress, you know, is it anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, just a whole bunch of factors that go into it, and then I have to sign my credentials to it and present it. And so it's just a lot because I might have a client that I'm working on that with, and so it's a really heavy session, and then the next session might be a 16-year-old girl who's having trouble adjusting to the foster home that she's currently in until her status or her parents are reunited with her. So it's just crazy. It's so crazy. I put a little super glue in the top. Oh, that's a good idea, Marissa. I like that idea. I'm going to have to try that. What I like about these pens is that I can pull this pen itself. I'm not going to do it right now, but I can pull this out and replace it with a new one in case this metal tip starts wearing down, or in case I don't like the way the wax is sticking in it, because sometimes I almost think the inside of this gets too waxy. You know, like the wax doesn't stick in it anymore. It keeps falling out. So I really like these pens a lot. So yeah, so that's kind of what I jumped into this week. I have 7 affidavits to write, and I went to a training in Washington on them, and I've written reports before, but not one that's officially called an affidavit. I've written reports many times for the court, but they've just been my own outline, my own, you know, way of doing things. And when you put me into, here's the template, here's how you have to do it, until I've done it a couple times, it's hard for me to, because I want to do it so exact. I'm a perfectionist. So it's been taking a lot of mental energy. Oh yeah, thanks, Abram. I absolutely love it. Yes, this is a Carol and Sean. Definitely. How do you like yours, Marissa? I have, let me see, a couple of them. My little handy dandy. So I have a blue and silver one. I think I've shown before. This was the first one I ever got. And then I won a lottery. So I got this one. And I asked for a 3-placer on one side and a single on another. And then I have my green one. And green's my favorite color. So I use the green one a lot. And I love the 3 bump that they do. It's my favorite. Hey Christine, so glad to see you. Karen, yes, it is a square. Loving it. Loving it. So yeah. Carol and Sean cannot speak any more highly of them than I can right now. They are just have such quality projects and products. It's great. I need to like rolling pin this. While I was gone, I think it just decided. Oh, well, what color did you get, Marissa? I was looking. I don't need another pen because I have 3. But I was looking at the red one that they have. I think it's called Marinara. Let's see here. Alright. Let's see what we got here. This symbol cracks me up because it looks like a little sperm. I'm sorry. It just does. And I'm like, seriously? Whoever came up with this symbol either didn't think of that or thought of it and thought it would be funny. So, every time I see it, it just cracks me up. Charge! Orion Nebula. Ooh. I know, Marissa, the wait list is crazy. Lately they've been doing ones that have like that thin middle to it. And I don't know if I like that so much. But that just could be me and my style, my taste. I just like being able, I don't know, this hump in the middle actually feels better on my hand. But I also hold my pen in different ways depending on if I'm doing round or square, or if it's a really tight fit, or if it's a really big patch, or it's confetti. Just depends. Just depends. All right. Yeah, is the Orion, is it like a dark blue? I'm trying to picture it in my head. Or is it like a black? When I think of Orion, I think of like the stars of the sky. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. I probably will have to sign off soon because I will just start sleep talking. And then who knows what I'm going to say, right? Who knows? Do, 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 do. Sperm power. Sorry. This symbol is just cracking me up. Just cracking me up. So what is your favorite subject matter of diamond painting? Like when you are looking at diamond paintings, what do you tend to gravitate towards? You know, animals or color scheme or fantasy or cartoons? Like what is your normal thing? Like when you look at the works you have or your stash and you're like, oh man, I just tend to buy this genre. I like to buy for colors. The more colors, the better. So I tend to find things. Oh no, Abra, you need to bring us some. Oh, so I'm glad, Marissa. You and I are kind of on the same page with the whole 3 bump or deep divot. Oh, Karen, earth tones and calm colors. That sounds so relaxing. Yeah, I tend to see, okay, let's get a picture that has as many colors as humanly possible to torture myself. All right. Do, 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 do. Green power. Carol likes a mix, floral, cottages, and then cartoonies. Valerie gravitates towards bright florals, beautiful. Christy is all over the place. Marissa depends on who she's buying for, but she's doing a Harry Potter theme. We're going to take a break. Abra brought us some food, some Chinese food. The question was, what diamond painting genre do we normally gravitate to? Oh my goodness. I don't think I'll need that many, but we'll see. What do we normally gravitate towards? Yeah, so I have a whole plethora of different types of paintings. I have a couple cartoon ones, I have a couple gorgeous girls, I have a couple like realistic, so like my Dougie and my daughter, and a couple, it's not landscape, but kind of pictures, you know, of scenes, so to speak. So I guess I'm kind of all over the place too. But again, I'm always looking for color. And I have a lot of customs because I just wanted something that only I had or very few people had. And I noticed that customs are cheaper. So actually on one of them, I took Huacan's photo and resent it back to Huacan and asked as a custom, because if I bought it through their site, it was going to be like $25, and if I bought it as a custom, it was going to be $8. So I figured, hey, I'm going to go with the $8. Shania does dragons, fairies, wolves, and butterflies. Christine's all over the place. She likes flowers. Oh, mandalas, sparkling gem ones, moose sunset. You have a moose one? That's pretty cool. And you've done a clock. You said all of them. Carol, I'll connect with you by tomorrow and send you this photo. The same photo I used to send in for custom. I don't mind sharing. And I'll send you the dimensions that I used. It's a 50 by 50. It ends up being 45 colors. Valerie, right now, though she's loving working on custom from Ever Moment. And Christine, she just ate. She did pork chops. Oh, I just had Papa John's pizza before I went live. I was just craving American grease. Does that make sense? Sorry for those who are in America watching, but you know, there's just something about your home country because that's what you were born with. It's just in your blood. And since I was born in America, I just wanted American grease. Oh. I'm hoping to make chicken and wild rice soup in the crock pot tomorrow. So we'll see if we get that done. I'll share some. It's a recipe I found on Pinterest, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Pinterest because half of the recipes I've tried have turned out fantastic, favorite recipe type fantastic, and the other half have been like, oh my gosh, we had to order pizza night because this did not turn out. Crazy. Yes, Marissa, greasy comfort food, absolutely. Although those pork chops sound mighty fine. In a pinch, we do Trader Joe's Chinese, like the Mandarin chicken or the beef and broccoli, and then we'll use our rice cooker. That's cool. We like that a lot. Yeah, I definitely did not need this many drills. Okay, let's see here. Let's go with the arrow to the left because we did the arrow to the right. Don't want to leave the arrow to the left out. So I have a feeling my husband and my daughter are at Steak and Shake right now, which is for those of you who don't know, like a 24/7 fast food late night place, but it's got milkshakes, and that's what they do after their daddy-daughter on the way home. He takes her on a small date, and they get french fries and milkshakes. And he asked me if I wanted one, and I said no because it was their date. So, and I'm okay with that. At first I was like, oh, maybe I do want one, but now that I've had the pizza and it's just sitting there in my stomach, I'm glad I didn't ask for a shake. That would have put me over the top. And I'm really trying to eat healthy. I think I lost 10 pounds in Uganda. Not on purpose. We just work so freaking hard. Carrying and walking, and oh, the trip back up the Nile. Crazy, crazy. I thought I was gonna die. But I did it. So I kind of want to make sure I don't eat too many Papa John's pizzas and gain the 10 pounds back. And I also think half of it was the sweat. I have not sweated that much for that long in quite some time. So it was crazy. Yeah, Christine, I think it depends on where you order your custom from. So a lot of my customs are from Who I Can, and it was great at first. And then what we call the Drillmageddon happened. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. Waiting a little bit. So the things I'm working on now were bought back in the day. But I'm waiting to see if they get their act together. Because they really were like a good price, and so it's that hard balance, right? And I don't mind paying the money in the long run, because like if you think about it, people are like, oh, you know, Diamond Art Club is expensive, but number one, these are the two things I take into consideration. Number one, it's so worth it because of the type of quality you're receiving, and the stress level is not there. Number two, if you think, how much time is a movie? Let's just, I know movies usually are not this long, but let's just average it out that it's 2 hours. So here in West Michigan, it cost about $12 to see a movie if you're going after 5. I don't know what a matinee is. I think it might be $9. But let's just say $12, and then by the time you get your popcorn and pop, you're looking at $25 to see a movie for 2 hours. So if I took that same $25, and let's say I doubled it and spent $50, I don't get 4 hours out of my diamond painting. I get, you know, 50 hours. So for every, you know, I'm spending $1 an hour for a craft. I mean, that's unheard of. So it's all about perspective. It's about expectation. What exactly are you looking for when you're purchasing a diamond painting? You know, are you trying to go cheap? Are you trying to go quality? Are you trying to do it for somebody else or as a gift? Are you trying to do it for good self-care? Are you worth it? Is your self-care worth it? Your sanity? You know, all of these things come into play. So that's kind of my soapbox. Hey Connie, good to see you. Yeah, Christine, if they come back with a milkshake, I'll send it your way. Definitely. Okay, gang. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's just kind of been a chill night. Nothing much to report. I've got a couple more Ugandan stories for the future. But I just want to thank you so much for keeping me company and for joining me for just this low-key live for about an hour and maybe more. I don't even know. What time are we up to? I have no idea. Maybe an hour and a half. Who knows? We will when we close the live, right? Because YouTube will show us. But I just want to thank everybody, and it's so good to be back. I can't wait to catch up on everybody's videos and just kind of see your works in progress and watch the Facebook groups and connect, you know, whips with names. It's just so exciting. And thank you, Carol. It's good to be back. And probably not right now, Carol, but I will send you the photo no later than tomorrow. So definitely before the end of the weekend. I will get that photo to you. And if I forget for some reason, are you in the Diamond Painting Underground group? I can't remember. We have such a good group of people in there. But if you are, I'm one of the moderators in there. Look me up, message me if I forget. But I shouldn't forget because I wrote it down. So we'll follow up. So have a good night. Enjoy the Chinese. Enjoy the diamond painting. Enjoy the good night. And I will see you later. Take care, everybody. I'm going to have to move so I can see because you guys are